Good afternoon, everyone. I hope that you can hear us and that you can see us. If there is any technical issue with seeing us or hearing us, you can just write it in the chat, but I hope everything is fine. I'm very, very happy to see you all. It's a very nice evening here in Riga. My name is Monica. I'm the Chief Inspiration Officer of UXDA, and I will be the host of today's webinar, Overcome the COVID-19 Crisis in Digital Banking as Winners. We are very happy that people from all over the world have joined us, not only from Europe and USA, but even from Australia, Asia, and Africa. So special thanks to those who have woken up in the middle of the night, thus just to join us here today. Before we start, I want to let everybody know that the recording of this webinar will be sent to your email right after it ends. We are currently also streaming on Facebook and YouTube Live, so we have provided already the links to the live streams in the chat. You can share them with your colleagues and friends so that as many people as possible can join us today. If you have any questions for our UX experts, you can type those in the chat panel that you can see on your right. Polls and offers will also display in the same channel. In fact, I'm already releasing a poll for you to fill. The question that you can answer is, how has the COVID-19 crisis impacted your customers? And you will be able to see the results as we go. So for those who are watching us on Facebook and YouTube, just leave your question in the comment section. We will get to all of your questions in the end of the webinar during the Q&A session. And as you can see, as we already promised, today I'm joined by two UXDA senior UX architects, my dear colleagues, Ines and Albert. Albert is the co-owner and chief commercial officer of UXDA. He's responsible for the implementation of UXDA's unique financial UX design methodology in more than 70 financial projects. He's also the one who establishes long-term collaborations and strengthens UXDA's impact worldwide.
Thank you, Monica. And hi, everyone. Happy to see you here.
Great. And we also have Ines here. She's UXDA's senior UX architect. Her 5-year-long experience in trade finance, AML, and wealth management provides her with exceptional expertise to always find the best possible solutions for the users, regardless of the complexity of the financial product. We are very happy to have you here today.
Hi, everyone. Very happy to be here today. Thank you, Monica.
Great. So currently around 150 people have joined us, and it means that we can start. Okay, so as we all know, currently almost everyone is facing some sort of a crisis. It's either a personal or a professional one or both. The circumstances we are in are unique indeed. Even if your business is running smoothly and you still have a job, because as we know, many people have been fired or are struggling very much with their businesses that were once very successful, there hasn't been such a global frustration and fear since the World War. So you see, when we are facing any kind of crisis, either in business or in personal life, we can go two ways. We can either give up, or we can use this as an opportunity for growth. And today, together with my colleagues, Albert and Ines, our goal is to inspire you to see this crisis as an opportunity to bond with your customers and take your customer experience to the next level so that you can come out of this crisis as winners. So Today, we will guide you through 3 factors that are critical for understanding what you can do right now to improve the customer experience of your business. And these 3 factors you can see right there on your screen. Those are customer context that's executed through the human-centered problem solution cycle, organization culture that we will uncover through the financial UX design matrix, and also business strategy that is compiled in the unique financial UX design formula that we will introduce you to. So we start with the first factor, and the first factor is customer context. Let's be honest, in a situation of a crisis, everyone is concerned about themselves and the well-being of their families. Here, the key factor for choosing any kind of product is whether it will help to ease people's daily struggles or not. It means that if you wish for your product or your service, it doesn't matter in what field you are operating, it doesn't have to be finances, your product should strive to live up to user expectations and fulfill the specific needs that they have in the situation of this crisis and of COVID-19. To identify these needs, you have to explore the user context, motives, and actions. These are 3 crucial elements for solving the problems that your users may face. And we will take a closer look at these 3 elements through the human-centered problem solution cycle. And as we go through this, try to imagine the customers or clients of your company. And if you have any questions that arise, be brave and just share them in the comments section. So we start with the first one, the first element, and it is the context. First of all, your customer who is facing any kind of a specific problem has a context. There's external and internal context. External context is the daily routine or lifestyle of these people. In terms of COVID-19, as I already mentioned, most people are working from home. Some have unfortunately lost their jobs or are struggling business owners. As you would agree, all of this has a direct impact on their spendings as well as on their long and short-term goals. Then there's also the internal context, such as emotions and thoughts. It is what is going on in our heads, actually. There are countries that have been deeply affected by the COVID-19 crisis, as we all know, taking hundreds of people's lives every day. Many are living in fear about themselves, about their loved ones, unsure about what the future will bring, when all of this craze will end. This causes a lot of stress and negative emotions daily. So this leads us to the next element, and it is motives. So every person has a motive for using any kind of digital or other product. We can also call this the job for which users hire your product.
Yes, and in this case of COVID-19, there could be plenty of motives that the customers would hire a financial product for. For example, just get a credit card without leaving their home, or maybe deposit some cash to account for online purchases. So whatever your product or business is about, maybe it's not even connected to the financial industry, it doesn't matter. Get out there and find out what are their main issues at this current moment.
Yes, exactly. And it's possible it's important not only to find out what are these issues, but also act on them. If you see that people are struggling, if they have some problems with your existing product, or you are planning to create a product in order to overcome this crisis, then look at what they are struggling and try to solve it. And now we move on to the next element, to the third element, which is actions. It's the action that the user takes to achieve the solution that he or she needs. Customers use the product and interact with it. Your task is to ensure that the product provides a clear, enjoyable, smooth, and effective solution through a very nice experience.
Yes, for example, right now in this situation, right, we're all, most of us are staying home, hopefully safe. And as you know, the demand for online grocery shopping, for food deliveries, basically any kind of online deliveries has higher skyrocketed. And I believe there is no surprise. And now let's dive into the bank shoes and see how they could view their customers with their own context, problems, and how they live their lives, right? Now, we know that not everybody has digitalized their money. Somebody is stocking up in the cash, somebody maybe don't even have a bank account, somebody don't want or can't even travel to ATM to put this money in and digitalize it, right? To somehow make purchases through these online shops. So thus their world is cut out of these online possibilities. And if such problem exists, what the bank can do, if they could empathize with the user, if they could see their problems, actions, context, and solutions, they could offer a mobile, for example, banking support where they drive in to our houses in a safely way, help us to deal with the money, trusted ways, sign agreements, open accounts, do the banking, drive away. That would be great. That is something that you can see what the bank can do if they take everything through our user context, motives, and actions.
Yeah, thank you, Albert. And actually, I have a really, really great example for the customer context, a real life example. And more than a year ago, we had a really great collaboration with one of our clients who was eager to transform a 15 years old banking back office solution. I think many of our participants also know how usually the banking back office system look like, and it's not only about the outdated appearance. And what was one of the first things that we did when we started to work together with this company? Of course, that we did the user research. At that moment, we arranged user interviews with the 6 users, the bank employees who daily are working in the bank. But at the interview day, it turned out that we have more than 20 users who heard about this possibility and they really wanted to come and share their experience. How is it to work with the core banking solution? We asked many questions regarding their current experience, also other questions, for example, about their daily life in the office. So, the context. All of the users had the same daily routine. They came to work, opened their paper calendars, they tried to figure out their plan for the day, and also had many, many sticky notes on their monitors about all the urgent tasks. And even despite that, they often forgot to complete those tasks. Solution led employees to mistakes and errors. Also, the employees felt frustrated, they were unmotivated, and they were stressed all the time. And as a result, customer satisfaction was decreasing as the services were slow and ineffective. How did we use this customer context we revealed? We integrated calendar and task management into their daily solution. The system now prioritizes tasks and reminds about all the meetings with the clients and colleagues, and no more sticky notes for that. Also, we integrated Messenger for quick communication between the colleagues, as this was one of the pain points for the users. As a result of that, their learning curve of banking employees reduced from months to hours, and the potential of human errors decreased, ensuring a huge increase in service speed, employee productivity, and customer satisfaction.
Thanks, Ines. Always when I'm hearing our success story, I'm just starting to smile because I remember how people who first saw this back office solution after this huge transformation, they said, "Oh my God, I cannot believe that this is really happening. This is a system that we have never, ever even imagined that it would look so great." So these are really the sweet fruits and the most rewarding moments of our work. And before we move on to the second element, which is organization culture, I wanted to share the results of the poll that are coming in. The question was, how has the COVID-19 crisis impacted your customers? And the replies are actually quite interesting. Almost 37% have stated that demand for their services or products has increased. And meanwhile, 23% state that the demand has decreased or that the customers have frozen their activities. These are actually very interesting results. If you want to, and if you are keen on, you can just share how is the situation impacting you and what kind of product do you have, and how, just describe a little bit how the situation impacts you and how has the product demand decreased or increased. So meanwhile, we move on to the second element, and as I already said, it's the organization's culture. So, the right culture of the business is crucial to be truly successful in the digital age and overcome any kind of crisis. You may have noticed that there are some companies that have entered this crisis quite calmly and with seemingly no worries of going bankrupt or losing customers. You see, in most cases, these are businesses that have adapted the so-called disruptive business culture. The secret of their success is to base all of their operations on two basic components. And those are, the first one is value, and the second one is design. And these two elements basically are responsible for forming an amazing customer experience in any kind of company. So, based on value and design, based on the way that it is executed and used, we can distinguish four different types of company culture. At UXDA, we have compiled all of these in the financial UX design matrix that you can see in your screens. So let's take a closer look at each of these four types and find out if your culture is ready for the challenge of COVID-19 and what exactly can be done if it's not. And now it's the same. Just imagine your situation as I'm walking you through. And if you have any questions, be sure to ask them. So, the first type of the company culture is the manufacturer. This is a company that cares more about the product's functionality than the actual customer experience. Design, in this case, is a pretty package and a marketing tool. The manufacturer is actually an outdated type of a company that excelled in the industrial age. Facing the COVID-19 crisis is extremely difficult for them. If you see yourself or any other company as a manufacturer, the steps that you can take are: switch the mindset from profit-oriented to user-oriented. What it means putting the users and their needs in the center of the attention instead of focusing on making money in any way possible. Second, use design as a mindset and as an approach and a tool set that allows creating a great experience, instead of looking at design as just a pretty package or something to attract customers as a marketing tool. And also think about how your product can provide real value and benefit to the people who will be using it.
Exactly. And the second big company frame, how it works, is through the seller frame, right? From the outside, it seems that seller really cares about its customers because they do lots of researches, they do lots of polling, all kinds of trend researches to understand what are the users' expectations, needs, etc. But unfortunately, this information is used in a way to not make the product better, to not make a product more efficient, more solution or friendly for the user, but is used for effective marketing campaigns and better targeting of the user, again, instead of customer experience. Now, once we had this chance to work with a very similar client who was overwhelmed with it at the time with the smartphone digitalization and banking revolution that was happening. It was the beginning of the Revolut, Monzo, N26, Uber, all kinds of online food deliveries. Everything we really cared at that moment were getting digitalized. And so this client wanted to create a future bank that would capture everything. Basically integrate the biggest food deliveries, insurances, loans, taxi services, P2P, simple loans, P2P loans, and of course, everything under the blockchain technology. Right, so they took everything that was trendy, popular, everything that was gaining traction at that moment, so they could be able to attract the biggest possible potential user base and, of course, the investors. Idea was incredible, and I believe they had all the good intentions in the mind because the idea was to create the banking of the future, the banking as a platform. So this was actually something where they failed, and how we start to communicate with them, because on top of everything they wanted the cherry, and this was the user experience. They thought that all of this functionality, features, solutions will be able to just wrap around with user experience. We're going to somehow magically squeeze it all in, package it beautifully, and sell it off. We had these lots of discussions. We discussed with all the C-level executives about this, how putting things together just for the sake of putting things together is not the best possible solution, because users don't care as much as about features, about how many trendy, cool, shiny things there are, but how actually this product is going to solve or get user from his pain point to his goals. So we had lots of these discussions, but we never had the chance to change their mind, because as we talked, they had new ideas coming in, new trends were coming in, and we didn't find a common path, because we explained again that user experience cannot be used just as wrapping. We have to like strip down these functionalities and see what is the core user needs, motivations, solutions that we already talked previously. And since we didn't work together, a year later, we saw this product launch. They made kind of buzz in the social networks. They made a buzz in the respective web portals. But year or two later, they went bankrupt because they were unable to withhold these users, retain them, because they weren't able to capture their attention and solve their problems. The product was everything, but at the same time, nothing. So this for you is some sort of a lesson that user experience is a mindset. And at first you have to think about the user, their context, and only then add those features that really, really solve their problems. And here are our prepared steps for transformation if you recognize yourself as seller. First of all, make your customers the top priority at every core thing in your company that you do. Integrate the customer-centered approach as the way to serve, not manipulate people. Make sure your success is not that the profit basically is not your main target of the success. You have to gather this feedback from your customers through the ratings, reviews, social media, and act on it to improve your service and a product.
Great. Yeah, it's very nice that we have a lot of examples, because we have been working with several different kinds of financial products, more than 70, and for financial companies all around the world. So this is a way to explore these theoretical aspects through practice. And this leads us on to the third company culture type, which is the innovator. These are creative companies that come up with new innovations in order to improve our lives. Their main focus is on researching and developing a brand new technology instead of crafting a pleasant customer experience. Innovations developed by these companies are demanded by quite a narrow audience of technology geeks, not the general public. So When facing the COVID-19 crisis, they struggle because people are concerned with taking care of their day-to-day problems and struggles, not going for something extra or exclusive or next level functionality. And of course, there's no doubt that the job that the innovators do is critical for growth and development. But you see, without great customer experience, people won't use their products, especially if we are talking about the situation that we are currently in, the COVID-19 crisis. So, the steps that an innovator company can take: first, get rid of the idea that functionality is enough. The main value for people is the experience that your product provides. And also, in times of COVID-19, these innovator companies, if you see yourself as an innovator company, you can use the existing functionality that we already have and take it to the next level through your innovation talents, making it even better and more convenient when it comes to the customer experience. And finally, we have arrived to the last and to the fourth company type. So, as we say, anyone who wants to be successful in the digital age and especially overcome the COVID-19 crisis as winners should strive for this company culture type, and it is the disruptor. These kind of companies maximize the potential of value and design. Their mission is to help the customers in the best way possible by solving their problems and providing them the maximum benefit possible. Disruptors see profit as the result of maximum user satisfaction. This provides them with long-term competitive advantage, also customer loyalty and community support, all of which, of course, results in above average profits and great results in the digital age and also in these kind of crises.
Yeah, thank you, Monica, about this. Actually, I have another real life example about the UX design matrix. And thank you, Albert, for your experience about that. I have the positive one. And this year, we transformed the user experience for the big wealth management platform, which is made for the ultra high net worth individuals. And this client came to us as innovator. He had really brilliant ideas on how to improve the wealth management segment. The client had a very good technological basis. And what we did together, we researched the end users, got to know their behavior, their lifestyle, their daily life, their pain points. And as a result, we built a gemstone, intuitive and easy to manage wealth management platform that allowed our client's company to become a disruptor in the industry.
That's another great experience story, and you can already see in your screens how the wealth management platform looked before and how it turned, really, like Ines said, into a wonderful gem after this huge transformation. And of course, it's not only about the looks and the appearance, but most importantly, about how it makes the people who are using this platform daily feel. And that is what customer experience is all about. So I'm excited to move on to the third component. I hope you are enjoying it so far. If any questions arise, please let us know. We will try to reply to all of them. So the third element is business strategy. And this one really accelerates the chances of successfully overcoming crisis for any kind of business. And in this segment, we will actually do something quite exciting. I will try to guide you through a straightforward formula for rapid digitalization that you can start implementing right after this webinar ends. So let's take a look at the formula right now. There are four key factors that differentiate the businesses that succeed despite the COVID-19 crisis and companies that are still fighting for their survival. And these four elements are experience, design, value, and the experience mindset. To demonstrate how these four components boost the success potential of any kind of company, no matter the field, we have created this formula that can be applied to any kind of product, business, and service. So, yeah, let me guide you through all of these elements. And again, keep your unique situation in mind. It doesn't matter if you're in the financial industry or selling ice cream, this can really help to raise your chances of surviving the crisis and coming out of it as a winner. And if any questions arise, again, you just let us know. Okay, so this formula determines where your business is right now and what are your possibilities to increase the success potential of your company and of your product or your service. If we are talking about the COVID-19 crisis, the success potential is your ability to overcome the crisis as a winner. And let's dig in and take a deeper look at all of these elements. So, the first element is product quality raised to the power of experience. And what it means that you focus on the experience your product provides, not on its features. The better the experience, the higher your chances of survival and success in a situation of a crisis. And to create this amazing experience, you have to get to know your customers, their expectations and needs. And you can do this through the problem solution cycle and the customer context that we already explored at the beginning of our webinar. The second element of the formula is business model powered by design. Here, design is not a package nor a marketing tool like it was in several of the organization culture types that I already mentioned. Design here is an approach that puts the customer in the center of all business operations. Integrating design thinking and user centricity at all levels of your company rapidly increases your success potential in overcoming this crisis and conquering the digital age in the long term. The next element, the third element already, is market distribution that is powered by value. Not so long ago, it was actually to reach quite a lot of people and get them to buy a not so good quality product just because of the power of the marketing. Thanks, marketing. But times have changed, and due to digitalization, it does not work so well anymore, as you all know, because we have the network effect. Everyone can let the world know about what hides under the pretty package, about this awful quality or experience that the product provides, just leaving a review or rating the product or just talking about it on social networks or YouTube videos, which are very popular for making reviews. And in the circumstances of a quarantine, marketing motivated mass sales have suffered. People don't buy that much stuff that they don't need just because it's nicely advertised. Now, people are concerned with their survival and with their well-being, so they will choose products that provide them real value and truly ease their daily lives. This is actually quite closely connected to the last element, which is experience mindset. And this is an important one. It is a way of thinking where you, as a business owner, as an employee, it doesn't matter. You treat your customers and you view them as your family members or as your friends. And your mission is to strive to help them in the best way possible. So let's have an overview of the formula right here. So if we look at the formula itself and these four elements, we can see that there's a multiplication sign between product quality and the business model. That is because these two elements closely affect each other. Market distribution, as you can see, is not multiplied but added, because business success still can be achieved through the word of mouth, for example, without any huge, enormous marketing budget. And the experience mindset, the final element, is multiplied by all of the elements we have in the brackets, because it is the most powerful element that any company that strives to be successful should have at the basis of their operations. So take a look at this formula, because we are really proud of it, and we like to apply it to the work with our clients and see amazing results that they really get through it. Because the truth is, the scale in which your business will be able to integrate all of these four key factors define your chances of overcoming this crisis and succeeding in the digital age. So again, if you have any questions about this formula regarding your business or just globally, shoot away.
Thank you, Monica, for this explanation. And here I want to continue the story about the core banking solution. About our client, their previous core banking solution before the transformation, it was full of functions, a lot of functions, and it really worked. And what we did together with the client, we did the research, and we revealed that users need only 35% of all the functionality in the system. And we removed those 65%. Also, we added all the functions that research showed us the users really need. We made all the user scenarios much simpler. And in this way, we added experience and raised the quality of our client's product. Our client team was fully involved in the process. All of them had many valuable insights that helped us to build a new system. And when we went through our process, which is called user journey map, we looked at the product through user, business, and also product perspectives. That was the turning point when all our client team started to look at their product through users' eyes, and they finally saw their product as one complete and united solution. And this changed the mindset of the whole company. And the power of design raised to the next level their business model. And after this process, I think we all understand the market distribution. The product now, it provides huge value for its users. It's intuitive, it's beautiful. And after the product presentation, as our client said, there were several banks that asked when they will have this amazing possibility to integrate this solution into their banks. And at that moment, the solution wasn't developed yet. The product value provided new opportunities for business development. With this transformation, we really wanted to inspire the whole banking industry and all the financial industry, and we see that it's really happening. And at the beginning of this year, this solution, core banking solution, received one of the world's best known design awards, and it's EEST Design Award. And we're really proud of this job with our client.
And it's actually super great, because the other company that received the EEST award, which is for those who are not familiar with it, it is one of the hugest and most prestigious and globally known design awards in the world. And when it came to financial design service, we received it for this core banking solution, as well as Apple received it for the Apple Card. So who would have ever thought that we would be standing side by side on the same pedestal with this core banking solution with Apple and Apple Card? Yay to us.
Yeah, thank you, Monica. And I
Thank you.
guess
And
Albert has also a good example about the
absolutely.
formula.
Absolutely. First of all, John, I really like to comment on how we went from before to after. Excellent. And yes, this was a truly great story where we applied this formula, and the success rate was amazing because, as already Ines explained, we were able, no, with our clients, with our design, just the design, the architecture, the transformation we've created, not yet coded, we're able to work and push this product, and the results were stunning. They're happy, and we're happy for them. And just to a little bit push and talk about this formula, we live by it here at Uxan Agency. This is how we actually use it daily and how we were able to unlock the true power of it. And we internally realized that we can use it as well as our clients are, and we are able to build a global design agency that works with 27 countries. And over just 5 years, we have created close to 80 financial solutions and received recognition in the financial industry, again, using just this formula. The success story where we uncover the full success potential of UX financial design by taking our product to the quality to the next level of it, by thinking through the experience of our client who's working with us. That times rethought business model by the design, where members and the aspects of our team are always on the same page. We focus not only on the user experience design, but as well as a risk-free collaboration with our clients they have with our company. And added that by the market distribution in a power by value, realizing that the whole world needs actually the financial solutions, and they deal with these financial solutions constantly. And sometimes these financial solutions, they're not as good as they should be. So here are we. And that is also a challenge that you are there, we are here, we have to somehow overcome. And we could overcome this only in a way through the value, because this is because value is what you have to provide. And the next thing that I have to mention here is that everything needs to be taken in account of the user experience mindset. In every step, we ask ourselves, is this bringing our clients, users, us, team, deliverables, everything we do closer to the better, more seamless life? And if it's not, then it's not worth doing. So we always strive for the experience. And I believe if you take this formula not for granted, but really write it down, read through it a little bit later, you can take your product to entirely next level by unlocking potentials that are beyond imaginary. And this is what we all need in this time of this situation.
Great. Yeah, exactly. As you already mentioned, this feeling of a mission, as we always say, we have a mission to humanize the financial industry. And with every project that we complete, for example, this core banking solution or the wealth management platform and so on and so on, we see that the industry is changing one by one. And it's really a rewarding feeling to know that millions of people are using a more and more convenient, emotional, and nice financial solutions. Okay, so we have arrived already to the final part. And at the beginning of the webinar, I said that our goal is to encourage you to view this crisis as an opportunity to bond with your customers. As you all know, in your personal life, hardships usually demonstrate the real face of people and determine whether a relationship will break or it will grow stronger than ever. And actually, the same applies to your relationship with customers, to any business's relationship with its customers. If they understand that your business has their back, cares about them, and is actively looking for more and more ways to help, your company will receive trust, loyalty, and respect in such a scope and intensity that would be impossible outside of the context of the crisis. So we really encourage you to view this as an opportunity to build these relationships and come out of it stronger than ever. So this sums up the main part of our webinar. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, just write them down, whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube or here on this platform. We will sum it up shortly. Don't go away yet. So, meanwhile, I just wanted to say, if you like this webinar and if you are interested to learn more about becoming truly successful in the digital age, visit UXDA's blog. It offers around 100 insightful articles full of ready-to-integrate tips that you can use to start improving the customer experience of your business instantly. We also just recently have created the world's first financial UX design podcast on iTunes, or you can also find it on any other podcast platform. As well as, of course, if you're interested in the topics that we are covering, you can follow UXDA on our social profiles, which is LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We will provide the links in the chat. And sure, if you need an experienced team to guide you through the process of transformation, to inspire you every step of the way, we are always here to help. Thank you very much. So this leads us to the questions and answers. So I'm now giving the word to Albert, who will guide this section for us.
So we received a couple of your questions. Thank you, guys. Feel free to post in some of them more so we can push this a bit longer and have more fun with you. And you, of course, can get more valuable answers from us. So for now, one of the questions was about difficulty to change the values of the company. This is something that we talked today, especially in a banking, especially if this bank has accumulated already lots of experience. It's been a legacy bank. And the question is particularly and very specific, would it better to how to approach the situation, to change it, to basically close it and start up from zero and from new digital vision everything, or try to somehow incorporate and change this vision and transform it within the company. And if it's a legacy bank and it has a good reputation, it has already a stable customer base, and everybody knows the logo, everybody knows the brand, everybody knows what you stand for, that doesn't mean that you have to like throw everything away and start from the bottom. I think the case what Ines showed us was perfect one, where you can't say legacy more than that. You saw basically some layout of Windows 2000, but they started to work on their change right now. And I know that the change there wasn't easy. You have to change first of all values. You have to you have to change how you see your users, you have to change how you approach the situations. And yes, of course, sometimes down the line, there's going to be decisions that are going to be a little bit unpopular, maybe not so easy, but I do trust that legacy banks, legacy systems, legacy finance, they can change. And it's definitely worth it to start with small changes, start with we change across in every department, in every person, instead of just closing it and starting from anew. Ines, this is, I think, your case as well. Is there anything you want to add to this topic?
Yeah, you are really right. And here in UXDA, I have worked with many banks who transformed their core banking solution, also who transformed their internet banking solution for their customers. And yes, it's not easy. It's really not easy, and it's a challenge. But here in UXDA, we love the challenges, and challenge is always interesting. I have heard many people who came to us and they said, "Oh no, this is not possible. We can't make it." But we went step by step through our methodology, through the process. And here we are, and we see that everything is possible.
Thank you. Thank you. And then was the question that I received as well here is about the situation, right? Right now, things are not going good, as we know. Some jobs get closed, people get fired, projects get sometimes frozen, and the question is what approach there could be. to take in the time of crisis to make better user experience for the end customers? This is a tough one, but user experience and change implementation. First of all, if we talk about the product itself, right, user experience change implementation, you don't have to like completely redesign whole your product, right? So you don't have to like tear it down, build it anew. There is a budget, there is limitation. But what's good to know that if you have a very big pain points in your product right now, that may be onboarding, that may be logging in, that might be people are requiring and asking for the biometrics for ages already since the new phones are out, etc. You know your better and biggest pain points already. If you don't know, and if you're on some retail banks, just open up an app store. Just check out those app reviews with people talk about your product and change that one little thing. But the little thing that is causes the biggest pain point for the user and would create the best experience for them when solved. And for that, you don't have millions in research and development. You don't need millions in design, etc. You know your pain point, you can solve it, and then you have time solve the next biggest pain point, and slowly you can better make an experience. That is one way how to work on a product. But as we talked, I think today, and we talk it through very thorough, there's other experiences we can change, and that is in ourselves and how we view our users, our customers, our digital products. And we can start some in small internal changes within ourselves, within a company, talking about what could we do better? What is the things that our users can benefit the most, where we can change in terms of just an attitude, right? If the customer support center or anyone who's working with clients start to put a better attitude and bigger effort than they used to do before, then that's already improvement on user experience. And again, that doesn't cost millions if the all assets are frozen up. Am I right? Or you want to add something here?
I can say only that everything starts within us.
Exactly. And biggest questions has ended, and there are a couple of comments just I like to bring out. Was interesting. For example, one was about the logo sizes, and this is one that I really like because banks are very sensitive about it, and I can just totally agree with that. That when they're reviewing design, most of the time service says, yes, we need our bank logo bigger, and sometimes the size of it does overwhelm the design, and you have to like ask ourselves, is this logo that important for us? Is that logo like has to be so big that it downsizes the application experience? And the answer is, if I don't think the logo provides as good experience for the user as the job he's trying to achieve with the application.
There's actually another question, Albert. As you were talking, it just came in. Jason, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. He says, understood that as you guys build a reputation of your work through years of effort and persistence, has it come to a situation where UXDA handpicked clients? How do you ensure the clients you worked with do not say otherwise thereafter the partnership begins? I think we have something to say about hand-picked clients that you actually already mentioned, the marketing thinking and the experience thinking and how we change their mindset.
Excellent question. Thank you. Thank you very much for that question. We do handpick our clients. Absolutely. We cannot work with anybody, as I mentioned in a previous case, with kind of very big budget and very nice client. But we couldn't find a way how to work together just because the mindsets were different. And for us, when we work with our clients, we try to understand where they're going, what is their mindset, and what they're trying to achieve with the existing product. As you know, fintech boom was a little while ago, very, very popular. Lots of investors put tons and tons of money in those. And there was I would say, a couple of clients who I would say abused this and they didn't had any chance or they didn't had any thought about actually launching the product and making it to the reality more than enjoying and building a product. And that's unethical, and first of all, we cannot work with that. For that reason, we always ask, what's the purpose of the product, where we are going with this? Either we are raising capital, if that's a smaller fintech startup or larger fintech startup. Are we doing digital transformation, going something from installable software to complete cloud solutions? Are we reforming whole user experience? What is the goal of the project? And through the conversations, you can uncover with the clients what are their expectations, where they're going, what is their goal. Because design, it definitely differs for each specific goal. One is to impress and still be usable. Others are for maybe more conservative. I would say always, just throughout the discussion, you can always understand with whom you're working. And for you guys who are here, when you're talking about, for example, when in your digital transformation, you're talking with design agencies, when you're talking with developers, etc., it's always good to talk with them to understand how actually they can help you to lay out your situation, explanation where you're going, and see whether they have similar cases. Because also, quite often we work with cases where our clients has gone to design agencies and they created product that actually that doesn't work because that design agency, they didn't knew all those nitty-gritty details that we have collected over the years about what really works, what doesn't work, where are some angles of user behavior in terms of finance, where are some angles in terms of processes. And then when the product is launched and it doesn't click with the users, we will work it by taking again all this what we talked today into account: user context, user problems, actions, and where the user is going. And through that, you can handpick. From our side, we handpick our clients, and from your side, a suggestion, same tactic you can use. You can handpick design agency, developers who actually knows what they're doing and can guarantee success of your final product.
Okay, so here's
So
another
I
one.
see, yeah, excellent.
Are you moving on yourself? I'm just trying to assist you. So, okay. How do I convince my clients that they shouldn't freeze the budget they planned on digital projects because they feel that they can save money by cutting down budget on UX? This is actually a very good question because even when we were outside of this crisis, a lot of clients feel that they can cut the budget specifically on UX, though it's actually the very core and the very base and the foundation on which you build all the other stuff. So Alberts probably has a more thorough comment on this one.
Yes, absolutely. I don't think that user experience or experience as such is something that you should cut down right now, because this is the moments when we as a customers just try to imagine yourself within a customer, and this is what you can go to this your stakeholder and say. Especially, I just before this webinar had a call with very wealthy, also private wealth management client who said, now I'm working with JP Morgan's, Chase, and other big banks, and the attitude is bad. The attitude is not good despite I'm having enough of wealth and I want to be treated. And I guess the same story is for them. They're downsizing on the staff, they're downsizing on the attitude, how they're giving the solutions to the client. So what this customer, big client, is doing now, he's thinking about leaving, he's thinking about changing his main bank because he feel mistreated and he has something to give. And now the same is with us, maybe not so wealthy, but still customers that care about how we get throughout our financial services. What is the attitude towards us? And now, when the banks care about more than they used to about every client in a way they should care, they decide to downsize on any experience. And for me, if I'm not going to feel cared from my banking side, why should I stay with them? I will go with some other bank, some other solution, in this case, fintechs, that may care about me more and may treat me better. So now is the time when we don't invest in very crazy cutting edge technology. We invest in good relationships. And how to invest in good relationships? One is, of course, customer experience. Another thing is the user experience. Show them that you care, and users will stay loyal and will not dump you. It is crisis management. Show your love, show your affection, show your careness for the users, and they will repay it back in times when they're going to be hard for you, not for them, other way around. Yes.
You already mentioned about stakeholders and convincing them. And here's another question about that. How do we convince stakeholders that we have to put our customers and the users first and then the business? Few of our competitors keep IMP messages hidden. These messages are shown to user post-payment, which is not correct. So, question, how do we convince the stakeholders that we have to put the customer first?
It's very, very similar question to the previous one, I would say. Because again, in the hard times, when users have harder times more than the banks right now, then you have to invest in your users, because at some point we don't know what may happen. The banks may have hard times, right? And then we will want that the users will invest back in the banks, and that's the core. That's the main message I would say for this one. I think 2008 was a great example where people were able to leave their banks, especially United States. They can leave a key with their mortgage and say, thank you, I'm out, and go to a different bank and start everything from scratch. And I know my couple of friends who were in this situation, they did, despite the bad situation, they said, yeah, this one particular bank that's really cared. They had really good consultants. They were trying to help us. Of course, it's our problem that we lost the job and etc. But they were keeping loyal to this bank just because they stick with them and they tried to help whatever they could in their hands to help this just married couple to struggle to their not so good financial times. And the business itself, it's running away. It's running from the problems instead of solutions, instead of creating solutions to a problem. So investing in your users, that's the best strategy there is.
Okay, so the next one comes from YouTube. We see a lot of nice looking financial products that have appeared in the last years, such as Revolut, Apple Card, Monzo, and so on. Why traditional players such as banks continue to make ugly design?
That is a question that in our design practice we keep asking for ourselves very, very many
24/7.
times, and actually 24/7. Yes, especially when we see just let's say design released in 2019, and it looks weird. It looks something from completely outdated. Honest to that, I probably not have a very correct answer, but my guessing is that they focus on internal teams. At least this is what I've come in my career in consultation with banks, and why some big banks come to us, because they are unable to break their box, and they are stagnating. And this is the reason I think when you hire designers internally, right? So when you hire designers internally, the big boss comes down and says, you have to create for me this, and then they work on that stuff. Then he says we have to create something different, and they constantly work on the same stuff. They create design not to please the user, but they are creating design to please the boss. And the thing is that the boss not always is a designer himself, right? And this is why we get hired. We get hired to break those boxes completely down, start from complete scratch, start from the users, from questions, from reasons why the product exists, and absolutely new mood board. We start with emotional inspiration board, and based on that, we're able to look out of completely different perspective, break out all of the boxes, and provide with a solution that's people sometimes says, well, this is crazy, that might never launch, but it actually does. Again, I cannot stop referring to the beautiful example of Ines' case. Before that, I could never imagine that core banking could look like this. I worked with complex systems back in the days, and I've seen it like all of them, and I never thought that I would see something as gorgeous as that.
Exactly. And I can just add that this is a matter also of exploring what do the users want, because there are many banks who come to us and say that their design is outdated and they want to be modern, and that's good because appearance is important as well. But these banks that create this ugly design and horrible experience, they have not asked their customers what do they want, what do they expect, what would be convenient and pleasant for them. So this again goes back to asking your customers what are they expecting and fulfilling their expectations. So
Mhm.
uh, the yeah, did you want to add? I
Yeah,
just wanted to.
I
Mhm.
see a new question from John. I think I might answer. His question is about what is the best practices to achieve best online mobile purchase or payment experience. Uh, there is not a golden formula to exactly how many steps user should click. There is not a golden formula how many clicks there should be, and what could be the end screen or beginning screen. What definitely helps and what we practice a lot is creating customer journey, user journey, where he takes every single action through the idea that he is come to his mind that he needs to make a payment to the successful client. Map out all the potential unhappy, happy path. Think about the emotions. What happens in a user's mind when he sees that he cannot make this payments in the end. I know many banks actually do it, that you go through all the steps and by the end they say, sorry, you don't have any money. Can we fix that? Yes, we can. We can show you in the beginning that when you are typing in that you're making a payment of 1 million, most likely you're not going to have that much bank in your bank account. So we don't want to give you this bad feeling at the end, showing you a unhappy path, an error screen or warning screen. Uh, and in those steps, like choosing bank account, setting up the amount, deciding whether that's going to be scheduled recurring payment, etc., switching between bank accounts, there's all kinds of touch points that you do, and this is the moment where you have to think about, okay, what my user does, what he feels, and what can I do to either maximize his best feeling and minimize the worst feeling or some stress, struggles, anxieties that usually come. Payments are not very pleasant experience, but we can minimize through understanding, minimize these pain points through understanding bad emotions that runs to the user heads. And then it will not matter whether your payment flow is going to be 2 screens or is going to be 4 screens, because through our minds, we see experience as a one seamless journey. And sometimes there are some UX fanatics that say everything has to happen 3 clicks in 3 click way. Every possible menu has to be accessed in 3 clicks. Every action has to be done 3 clicks. It's not true. That what matters is experience, how user feels it, and the total overall experience comes from the worst experience in the flow and the best experience, and the user will remember the average of this experience. So minimize the worst experiences and maximize the best experiences. Always works.
All right, so it seems that we have two last questions left. If anyone is up for more, give it to us. We will reply. So Tom writes, we are a startup in wealth management space. Our logo is red color based. The red is commonly used in errors and negative prices. We should not like to be associated with negative stuff. Do you know a well-designed financial app where the main color is red? I can just add from my side that red and also yellow are the two colors that are always used for errors and that we usually try to avoid. But as he asked, the first bank, the financial app that came into my mind was actually a Latvian bank. Citadele. Probably our viewers from the world don't know it, but their main color is red. Whether the app is all red, I don't know. I don't own the app, but yeah, they are very reddish. Any comments from you guys?
Red and yellow definitely is challenging colors, but hey, we're a lot designers love challenge, and yes, you have to be very about how and where you use the red colors. But just because red is used in errors and so is yellow and black is used in road signs kind of very often, it doesn't mean that it's a bad color and that it should create a negative feeling or stressful feeling or anxious feeling. We do believe that colors and the banks and the branding personality definitely will attract the people who fit in it. We don't buy things, we don't use things that doesn't fit our personality or doesn't fit our lifestyle. So if there are, and there are definitely lots of people who like red colors, like red color, as you see in our webinar, we have two beautiful ladies in red. People will be spoken by that red color, and I suggest not make such assumption that if the red color of your brand is the main color, that everybody will be worried and feel somehow anxious about this.
Yeah, our colleagues are also sending in that a bank called Alpha Bank is using the red color, our designers. So if this is any help for you.
Thanks, Arda. Shout out to our designers.
Yeah, always. So we have come probably to the last question. If there will be any others, we will reply to those as well. And it goes like this. For a bank that is mostly now facing overthrown by COVID and FinTech, what will be the biggest stand banks should make?
I would say again, of course, we are user experience advocates here, and we will always put our customer and user in the front of everything that we do. But I'm not saying this just because we're user experience design agency. I truly believe that this is the time to go all in our users. The backend re-engineering systems, the new carpet in the office, and everything should and could wait. You have to go all in on your users right now, because if your users leave the house, leave the ship, then your business will be closed. That is the sad truth. Users are the ones who make your business run. And if you forget about the users, if you put them in somewhere back that they exist, they kind of do their job, they kind of bring in the money. And if you think about them that way, they will go to some bank, to some client where actually they put them as the most important and the first thing.
Okay, and there's another one that just came in. Based
Awesome.
on your past experience, how long would it take for you to design a 5-page homepage, transactions, balance, login, and logout app? How long?
How long? Each case is unique, each case is different. We have to talk about, again, as I mentioned, what's the purpose of it, who will be using it, how they be using it. We definitely need to think about the users, what are their jobs that they are trying to achieve within these pages, as well as try to create our customer journeys and so on. There's lots of nuances, and this is a very specific question that can be answered only if we know a bit more details. So Tom, I do suggest you to contact us through our contact form or leave your email, and I will reach you out personally and we can talk it privately, and I can help you to better understand your situation and give a more tailored answer, because this is very general for now.
It's the same as
So
with
just leave the email.
It's the same as with a doctor. You can just type your problem into Google and find some kind of reply. But of course, to really get healed and get the best possible result, you need a personal approach. And that is exactly what we are very keen on and what we do. So, as it seems that we have no more questions, and we are very thankful to everyone who attended today, either on Facebook, YouTube, or Easy Webinar app. So you will receive the recording of this webinar in your email. If you have any questions, you can contact us on info@uxdesignagency.com. The email will be also stated in the post-webinar email that you will receive. And so let's probably see you in the next webinar that we will decide to organize if you like this one. Thank you very much. Hector is writing, thank you,
Thank you,
UXDA.
everyone.
Oh, thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you,
Hector.
everyone, for thank you.
Thank you. Bye
Thank you,
bye.
everyone. Have a nice one. Good luck transforming.